All right, stop everything you're doing. Seriously, just freeze for a second. What if I told you that the grimy old quarter you found buried under your car seat, the one you'd normally just toss into a jar, could be worth, wait for it, nearly $750,000? I know, it sounds absolutely insane, like something out of a movie, but this isn't fiction. This is brutally, shockingly real. Just recently, a Washington quarter, a coin that most people wouldn't even give a second glance, actually sold for an astonishing 775,000 USD at auction. Think about that for a moment. Right now, in pockets across the country, in forgotten change jars, in dusty old collections, coins just like it are waiting. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the deepest, most incredible secrets of the Washington quarter, honing in on 4 specific years that are hiding unbelievable wealth: 1965, 1967, 1994D, and 1997D. Get ready to have your mind blown. This isn't just about coins. It's about life-changing opportunities. Are you ready to see if you're sitting on a fortune? To truly grasp the utterly mind-boggling value of some of these Washington quarters, we need to quickly rewind the clock. Our journey begins in 1965, a monumental year in American coinage. Before 65, quarters were beautiful, shiny pieces of 90% silver, pure silver. But then, rising silver prices hit, and the U.S. Mint made a dramatic, almost heartbreaking decision for collectors. No more silver quarters for general circulation. They switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, basically a sandwich of less precious metals. This wasn't just a technical change, it was the end of an era. And here's where the magic and the money come in. Any 1965 quarter, or indeed any quarter after 1965, that somehow, miraculously, was still struck on a silver planchet, that's not just an error, that's a legendary multi-million-dollar mistake. Then we slide into 1967. This was a fascinating time for the U.S. Mint. They were experimenting, pushing boundaries, and sometimes, well, things went a little bit sideways. Those sideways moments often resulted in tiny, almost imperceptible errors in the striking process. Think of it like a momentary hiccup in a massive industrial machine. These subtle flaws, often completely missed by the mint workers themselves, are precisely what makes certain 1967 quarters worth a small fortune today. They're like hidden messages from the past. Now let's fast forward to the 1990s, specifically the Denver Mint. You'll see its little D mark. In 1994 and 1997, the Denver Mint was churning out billions of quarters. And with that kind of sheer volume, even tiny, seemingly insignificant deviations from the norm could happen. These weren't grand, sweeping historical blunders. They were micro-mistakes, subtle variations in the dies or the metal blanks. These nuances, once discovered by sharp-eyed numismatists, have transformed common coins into incredibly rare, highly coveted pieces. Each error isn't just a flaw, it's a unique timestamp, a tiny deviation from perfection that tells an incredible story, and, critically, holds immense value. All right, enough history. Now for the crucial part, how you can actually find these treasures. This is where fortunes are literally either created or tragically overlooked. You absolutely, unequivocally need to pay attention to every single point I'm about to make. The world out there is full of fakes, of coins trying to trick you. Our goal here is to arm you with the precise, undeniable knowledge to spot a genuine millionaire maker. The 1965 quarter, the Silver Ghost. This is your first major target, and it's a big one. You're looking for a 1965 Washington quarter that by some cosmic accident was actually struck on a silver planchet. Remember, 1965 was the year they stopped using silver. The edge check, your first, most critical test. Pick up your 1965 quarter and look very closely at its edge. A standard clad quarter will have a distinct, visible copper stripe running right down the middle of its edge, a brownish line. If your 1965 quarter shows a solid, uniform, unbroken silver color across its entire edge with absolutely no copper stripe visible, you've just cleared the biggest hurdle. If you see copper, it's just a regular coin. If it's all silver, keep going. The weight test. Bring out the precision. A real 90% silver coin, like pre-1965 coins, weighs about 6.25 grams. A regular 1965 copper nickel-clad coin weighs around 5.67 grams. That's a small but vital difference. You absolutely must have a super accurate digital gram scale, capable of measuring to at least 2 decimal places. This isn't a kitchen scale job. The sound test. Listen to the music of money. Gently tap a suspected silver quarter on a hard, flat surface. It will produce a distinct, higher-pitched, almost bell-like ring sound, quite different from the duller thud sound of a clad coin. It's subtle but noticeable. Finding a genuine 1965 silver quarter is like finding a unicorn. Only a tiny handful are known to exist, making them legendary. The 1967 quarter, the double vision mystery, DDO and DDR. Here, your mission is to hunt for those elusive double die overs, or DDO, or double die reverse errors. Your essential tool. You absolutely need a strong magnifying glass, at least 10x magnification. Your naked eye simply won't cut it here. What your magnifying glass should see. For DDO errors, you're looking for a slight, often uneven, ghost-like duplication of the lettering in Liberty, the date 1967, or the motto "In God We Trust" on the front of the coin. It'll look like the letters are slightly blurry or have a faint shadow beside them. For DDR errors, you'd find similar doubling in the lettering of United States of America, quarter dollar, or E pluribus unum on the back of the coin. This isn't gross, obvious doubling. It's usually very subtle, demanding patience and a keen eye.
The 1994 D quarter, the AM America spacing secret, close AM or wide AM. This particular incredibly valuable error revolves around the spacing of just 2 letters, the A and the M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. The critical observation. On a normal 1994 D quarter, if you look at the very bottom tips of the A and M in America, they should be extremely close together, almost touching. This is known as a close AM. Now, here's the game changer. If you find a 1994 D quarter where there's a clear, distinct, and noticeably wider gap between the bottom of that A and M, what we call a wide AM, you've potentially stumbled onto an ultra-rare, high-value error. This particular error was primarily intended for special proof coins, but a tiny, almost unbelievable handful accidentally got struck on regular circulating coins. Examine like a forensic scientist. Use your magnifying glass to precisely gauge that spacing. Be absolutely sure it's a genuine mint error, not just damage or wear that makes it look wide. The 1997 D quarter, the Bazaar of Anomalies. Composition, strike, mint mark. The 1997 D quarter can be a treasure chest of diverse and valuable errors. Missing clad layer, the I-copper identity. Sometimes the outer nickel layer of the coin can be partially or entirely absent. This makes it look unusually copper-colored, either completely or in noticeable patches. It's a striking visual difference. Struck on foreign planchet, the ultimate misfit toy. This is incredibly rare. Imagine the quarter design being stamped onto a blank metal disc meant for a totally different coin, maybe from another country or even a different U.S. denomination. You'd notice huge discrepancies in its weight, its exact size, or its metallic color. This is a truly wild error. Double die errors, DDO, DDR, the return of the shadows. Just like the 1967 issue, inspect for that telltale doubling or shadowing in the letters and design elements. They can appear anywhere. Repunched mint mark, RPM, the double stamp. Take a very close look at that little D mint mark for Denver. If it looks like it was stamped twice, slightly overlapping, or shifted, you found an RPM. These can add significant value. Your essential gear, your precise digital gram scale, and that powerful magnifying glass are your absolute best friends here. Any unusual weight is a huge red flag pointing to a potential composition error. Crucial, non-negotiable advice for every aspiring treasure hunter. Never, ever clean your coins. I cannot stress this enough. Cleaning a valuable coin, even gently, will instantly and irrevocably destroy its numismatic and collector value. It's like taking sandpaper to an antique painting. Don't do it. Handle with utmost care. Always, always hold your coins by their edges to avoid leaving fingerprints or oils that can damage the surface. Document everything. If you even suspect you have something special, take super clear, high-resolution photographs from every single angle. Detail is king. Get professional backup. If you genuinely believe you found a quarter of significant value, your immediate next step is to get it authenticated by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These are the ultimate experts. They have the advanced tools and knowledge to confirm its authenticity, its grade, and its true market value. Why? Why do these seemingly common bits of metal command such mind-boggling, jaw-dropping prices? It boils down to an incredible, perfect storm of factors. Extreme, verifiable rarity, a compelling historical narrative that captivates the imagination, and absolutely relentless demand from the global community of coin collectors. Think about it. A 1965 silver quarter is an error that by all rights should simply not exist. Each one is a silent, tangible witness to a moment of pure chaos and oversight during a massive nationwide monetary overhaul. The number of these known to exist is incredibly, ridiculously small, making every new discovery a headline-grabbing monumental event. The 1967 DDO-DDR quarters are direct evidence of tiny, fleeting imperfections in the massive steel dies used to stamp millions of coins. The more pronounced and rarer the specific error, the more fiercely collectors compete to add it to their prized collections. And what about the 1994 D and 1997 D quarters with their specific errors? They've ignited a passionate, almost frantic following among modern collectors. These are the sharp-eyed individuals who actively hunt for contemporary mistakes, errors that were often missed for years and sometimes aren't even detailed in older traditional coin books. While perhaps lacking the deep, century-spanning historical weight of older errors, their documented scarcity and the precise, almost surgical identification of these flaws drive their market value through the stratosphere. Those close AM, wide AM errors, or a coin missing its clad layer can be fantastically scarce, fueling a white-hot, intensely competitive market. Auction records aren't just dry figures, they're electrifying proof. The sales figures from top-tier auction houses and major coin dealers aren't theories, they're solid, undeniable reality. That specific quarter that sold for $775,000 was almost certainly an ultra-rare 1965 silver quarter or a 1997 D with a uniquely extreme error that took years to truly appreciate. The better the coin's condition, its grade, combined with the sheer, undisputed scarcity of its particular error, the more its price explodes exponentially. These aren't just pieces of metal, they're genuine investments, tiny works of accidental art, and irreplaceable pieces of American minting history, each with a thrilling, untold story to share. All right, listen closely. This isn't merely a fascinating historical deep dive. This is your direct, personal call to action. Real wealth, the kind that can genuinely transform your life, might literally be hiding in the most unassuming places imaginable. Deep in the creases of your couch, tucked away in your wallet, rattling around in those dusty old change jars, or even forgotten inside a child's piggy bank. It's shockingly easy to completely overlook these incredible high-value coins. But now that you are fully armed with this specialized insider knowledge, you are officially deputized as the next great treasure hunter. Do not, under any circumstances, let this vital information just sit there. Get up, go look, start your search today. Begin meticulously, carefully, enthusiastically examining your Washington quarters from 1965, 1967, 1994D, and 1997D. Grab that magnifying glass you've got lying around. Fire up your accurate digital scale and stay absolutely vigilantly alert for every single tiny detail we've painstakingly laid out. You could genuinely be standing on the precipice of a discovery that redefines your entire financial future, a hidden treasure you never, ever dreamed existed. This isn't just an old quarter anymore. This is a quarter that could quite literally be worth nearly $1 million. So there you have it. We've just torn apart the myths and unveiled the utterly astounding truth behind specific Washington quarters whose values don't just exceed their face value, but skyrocket into the hundreds of thousands, potentially even grazing the $1 million mark. From the almost impossible silver errors of 1965 to the sneaky, subtle double dies of 1967, from the AM spacing secrets of 1994D to the wild, varied striking errors of 1997D, each of these coins carries the electric potential of a deeply hidden fortune. Always remember, those tiny, often missed details are your golden ticket. Never, ever give up on your search, because the very next coin you pick up and scrutinize could simply be your direct passport to financial freedom. Now it's truly your moment. Do you have any of these specific dates? Have you spotted any of the incredible eras we talked about? Please, I'm genuinely eager to know. Share your stories and any potential mind-blowing discoveries right there in the comments below. If you found this guide incredibly useful, intensely thrilling, and genuinely potentially profitable, please do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, share this video with every single friend and family member who needs to hear this, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel for even more deep dive numismatic insights, pulse-pounding rare coin hunts, and expert tips that could lead you straight to your next major discovery. And one final crucial piece of advice: never ever clean your coins, and always seek professional authentication for any potential high-value finds. Your next $1 million mistake might just be waiting for you right there in your pocket.